Hi, welcome to this episode where we discuss job loss. Sure, COVID and post COVID time taught us that jobs can come, jobs can go. And I think it has been such a time that before then, there had never been really a situation where, in our times though, where a lot of things just came to a halt. And so that is what um, during the COVID period and now post COVID, of course, one of the key major effects were on the economy. And of course, there were needs to have various changes, and there were job losses, there were loss of business, and there was also loss of life. But the question that we want to address is not what has happened in the past, but to address how do we handle a job loss, because they're saying that in this time and in the world we have today, there is really nothing like uh, job security. Governments wake up and change policies. Companies wake up and change direction, and organizations alter the course of their drive, or the course of their purpose for this or the other. And therefore, that means it's very difficult to have this thing that we grew up being told of job security. So we must then be ready to face a job loss in the period of our time. It is something that they say if it has not happened, it will happen in your lifetime. So are you prepared? Have you seen somebody lose a job? How did they handle it? And that's what we want to discuss today. And I want to talk about number one, where you find yourself in a job loss. Learn and never take it personal. Do not take it as a personal rejection. Do not take it as a rejection of what you possess as an individual, the you. Remember, you are greater than a job. You are greater than that opportunity that has been given to you to fulfill a certain function within an organization. Because that's what a job does. A job places you to actually perform a certain function that the organization has found fit for you to fulfill. Therefore, it is not a rejection of your personal abilities or your personal ability or yourself, but rather it is a situation where that opportunity probably may have ceased. So, unless there are situations where we actually mess up our jobs by probably not adhering to the regulations of the organization, or going out of the code of conduct, or just bleaching the contract of employment, it's important that you learn. Unless not those things have happened, then a job loss is really not possible. Some companies will go under. It's normal. We saw at one point the CEO of Nokia actually crying and saying in a media interview that they did nothing wrong. It is just that times changed and they did not change fast enough with the time. So times can change, and therefore you have to learn that it's not personal. The second thing that you need to do is that you need to let the people who care about you know that you do not have a job. There is nothing about losing a job that is cause for you to have shame, cause for you to hide yourself, cause for you to actually shrink back into yourself. It's important that let the spheres of influence around your life, that those people who are important to you, know that you do not have a job, because then that number one is able to manage expectations. We've seen, for example, men who lose a job, and because they have the moral authority to responsibility to actually provide for their families, they do not inform their spouses. And what happens? This person keeps on gets onto a lifestyle of borrowing to sustain a family, whereas if they had communicated this with their spouse, they would have been able to work out a scenario. So make sure that the significant people around you know that you do not have a job. The other thing is that make it open on your social media or on platforms that can help you get a job, to know that you're actually job seeking. We have LinkedIn today. We have Facebook. You have your WhatsApp status. These are platforms that enable you to get visibility out there and for free. And you never know. There just might be somebody looking for your skill set and might hire you based on the fact that you used your social media well and you actually were not ashamed or afraid to actually put it out there that you not have a job. I like to say I've been in a situation where I have lost a job. And of course, many a times we feel like we want to shrink and run away from life. But what that does is that it sends you to what you should avoid. Number 4 is avoid being alone and going into depression simply because you have lost a job. When that happens, unfortunately, when job loss happens, you find very many people, your sphere or your circle of friends, because many friendships today are based on what you're bringing to the table. Do I think you're fashionable enough? Do you make enough money to be in my circles? Unfortunately, when a job loss happens, then you do not fit into that circle again. Kindly make sure that from today you are hanging around people who can actually hang around you even when you have nothing to offer, even when you do not have the money that you make today from your business or from your job. Why? Because that becomes the support system that will help you get back on your track in the event of a job loss. So be very keen to actually not shrink back, not hide yourself, not cover yourself from reality, but and subsequently that will lead to depression. I remember at one point a few years ago we buried a colleague out of depression, and it was said that is what happened after her income dropped and she was almost losing her job. She actually went to a situation where she locked herself in the house, did not interact with the world, and depression happened. And one day she was found having collapsed in the house, being rushed to hospital. She was pronounced dead. So you do not want that kind of a setup or that kind of an end of life for yourself simply because you've lost a job. And I think finally is have a positive attitude. Have a positive attitude that you'll actually bounce back. You will get an opportunity that places you where you always wanted to be. You'll get an opportunity that may be better than what you had. So have a positive attitude. And I think just as a bonus point is be open for any job that, number 1, aligns to your values and maintains your dignity before you get a job the ideal job that you're looking for. Many people go make a mistake of actually just saying, for me, I was a manager somewhere, so any job that I get must be a managerial position and above. My friend, you will suffer waiting for your ideal job, whereas your small bills around your life are accumulating. So get that job. Is it a sales job? As long as it's okay with you. Is it any job that is around you? Is it some volunteering job that is giving you just something to sustain yourself? It becomes important because it ensures that your dignity around having the ability to provide for yourself is maintained as you actually go out to look for that job that will put you back where you were before you lost your job. So I hope those points help you to actually just bounce back. If you've lost a job, or if you know somebody who has just lost a job, or if you went through that kind of an experience of job loss, would love to hear from you. How did you handle it? So that you can also help other people out there who may be in that kind of a situation, going through job loss right now, probably depressed, bills spiraling out of control in terms of accumulating, and they are feeling that it's almost an end of meaning of life for them. Would want to pull up somebody who feels that they are discouraged after job loss and just facilitate and help them get through a job loss and subsequently get another job. So I hope you find this helpful. Please share and to your friends and networks and kindly subscribe. Thank you very much for listening.